Hello and thanks for joining us for our late night newscast coming to you from Arirang's news centre in Seoul. I'm Mark Broom. Our top story tonight, South Korea and the United States have responded to North Korea's latest nuclear threats and its rejection of the UN Security Council's sanctions resolution. Seoul says it's high time for Pyongyang to change its ways. Park Ji-won starts us off.
Seoul's foreign ministry criticized North Korea for its rejection of the UN sanctions resolution, saying its decision was a challenge to the will of the international community. The ministry called Pyongyang's obsession with nuclear weapons a delusion and warned that South Korea would take strong measures to shatter the regime's belief that nuclear arms guarantee its safety.
The South Korean government will take tough and effective measures regarding North Korea's reckless actions to break the regime's delusion about nuclear development.
The ministry said that while working with the international community, South Korea will no longer turn a blind eye to the regime's cruel treatment of the North Korean people. The ministry also urged the North to take a path of real change for the denuclearization of the Korean peninsula. The United States has also urged Pyongyang to refrain from provocations. The White House brushed off the North's latest nuclear threats, saying they were nothing new and the U.S. and its allies were prepared for any hostile action.
The kinds of comments and provocative actions that we've seen out of Pyongyang in the last 36 hours or so are not new. Instead, we believe that they should focus on fulfilling their international obligations and commitments, particularly when it relates to their nuclear program.
Also citing a U.S. defense official, AFP reports that Washington believes North Korea does not have the technical ability to miniaturize a nuclear warhead or successfully fire an intercontinental ballistic missile. North Korea's official Korean Central News Agency on Friday called the new UN sanctions resolution a criminal act. It threatened to take every possible measure to counter the resolution, saying its nuclear weapons were on standby for use at any time. Park Ji-won, Arirang News.
A North Korean ship has been impounded by the Philippines in the first reported blow to North Korea from the recently adopted UN sanctions against it. A spokesman for the Philippine president said the 6,800-ton cargo ship Jinteng, which you can see there, is being held in the port of Subic, northeast of the capital Manila. The ship's 21 North Korean crew members will be deported. The vessel, carrying palm kernels, was inspected twice, once upon its arrival on Thursday and again on Saturday. A team from the UN is expected to inspect the ship soon. Pyongyang has not yet issued a comment on the situation. According to Seoul-based news network YTN, the North Korean ship was registered as a vessel in Sierra Leone. About a third of the 31 North Korean vessels blacklisted under the sanctions disguise their identity either by renaming them or changing their registrations. Now, the European Union has also strengthened its punitive measures on North Korea in an effort to supplement the UN sanctions. It has added 16 individuals and 12 entities closely related to the North's nuclear development programs to its sanctions list. With the addition, 28 individuals and 32 entities are now under the EU's travel bans and asset freezes. Local police are looking into allegations the militant group that calls itself Islamic State hacked into a Korean firm's computer network to steal data on 20 Korean nationals. Officials say the hack on the news clipping company, which hasn't been named, leaked the names and email addresses of 20 public officials and civilians. Their identities have not been disclosed for security purposes. However, their details appeared in a YouTube video ISIS uploaded last month and later deleted. The Korea Internet and Security Agency and intelligence officials have been scouring the company's computer server for any clues that there might be. Officials want to know if the hack is linked to a video ISIS posted late last year. In that video, the group vowed to carry out terror attacks on hostile countries, displaying the flags of 60 countries, including that of Korea. Korea is calling on Japan to adhere to the spirit of the landmark agreement reached late last year on resolving the issue of Tokyo's wartime sexual enslavement of Korean women. Seoul's foreign ministry was forced to act after Japan's foreign ministry said there was no concrete proof Japanese troops forcibly recruited foreign women as sex slaves during the Second World War. Now, the post on the ministry's website was in reference to a remark made by Tokyo's deputy foreign minister during a meeting of the UN Committee on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination against Women that was held in Switzerland last month. A Korean government official said forced recruitment is an undeniable historical fact supported by the victims' testimonies. The official added that Tokyo must faithfully implement the bilateral agreement. China has set its economic growth target at 6.5% to 7% for 2016. Chinese Premier Li Keqiang revealed the figure on Saturday at the opening meeting of the 4th annual session of the 12th National People's Congress in Beijing. He said the target reflects the Chinese government's will to balance building a prosperous society and advancing structural reform. However, the Chinese premier warned that China will face tougher challenges in its development this year, so it must be ready to fight a difficult battle. The Chinese government also said it intended to keep the annual growth rate at a minimum of 6.5% through 2020. China has also announced that it will raise its defence spending by 7.6% this year, but that is in fact its lowest increase in 6 years. Citing a budget report, China's state-run Xinhua news agency says a sizable amount of the $146.7 billion US budget will be used to protect China's maritime rights in the South China Sea. The defence budget hike is the first single-digit rise since 2010. It follows a nearly unbroken two-decade run of double-digit jumps and comes as the Chinese economy is in a period of slowdown right now. China's defense budget is a quarter of the US Defense Department budget for 2016 of $573 billion. Now, it has emerged that some Japanese auto brands may have the VW problem, namely pumping out higher diesel emissions on the road than in lab tests. The Japanese Transport Ministry says 2 Toyota vehicles and a Nissan vehicle tested on roads emitted up to 10 times the amount of nitrogen oxides than the standard they needed to meet in tests. A Mitsubishi vehicle emitted up to 5 times the amount. However, officials were quick to point out that no illegal software was found in any of the tested cars, and the automakers haven't violated any regulations. The Japanese tests were part of a global reaction to Volkswagen's emissions scandal. The German automaker last year admitted to using illegal software to cheat emissions tests for certain diesel cars. Now, security patrol dogs are trained to sniff baggage at airports to find restricted items such as drugs and explosives. Now, some of the smartest dogs in Korea are being cloned to ensure the effectiveness of these canines continues. Park Se-young with the details.
Beagles are often used in airports to sniff baggage for restricted items. The breed is also adept at detecting illicit substances hidden in boxes and walls. Cloned from cells of legendary patrol dogs, this dog possesses the same abilities and aptitude for learning as its ancestor.
We usually start training dogs when they reach the age of 1, but clone dogs are capable of being completely trained by the time they're 10 months old.
Recently, 5 more puppies have been cloned to become special-purpose dogs. They were cloned using cells from Neo, responsible for 68 successful cases of drug detection at Incheon International Airport from 2002 to 2010. These 2-month-old Labrador retrievers are scheduled for duty in the Air Force, Police, and Customs Service. Since 2011, the Rural Development Administration has cloned 49 dogs from 5 breeds, 33 of which are working as special-purpose dogs. Park Se-young, Arirang News.
Now, the rolling hills of Boseong County are considered a symbol of green tea here in Korea. Sales of the leaf have been slowing, however, so the county is taking a fresh approach to marketing it. Kim Mok-yeon reports.
The medical and psychological benefits of green tea have been widely acknowledged since the ancient times. But despite the multiple benefits green tea provides, sales have been fluctuating, possibly due to its formidable rival, coffee. This has directly affected the income of those living in Boseong County. To solve this problem, the district is exerting efforts to transform typical green tea products into extracts and processed goods. A representative of a Bosang Tea Production Association said they are focusing on developing medical products with pharmaceutical companies. One of the products they manufactured is the world's first natural green tea ampule. The caffeine was removed from the extract, which has been a major shortcoming among consumers, and the product was tested and deemed safe due to its special glass for medicines. Bosang also showcased an innovative upgrade to conventional tea bags that contain burdock, lotus leaves, and even coffee.
We expect the two products to greatly help the regional economy and revive favorable evaluations. We hope they can actively make their way to markets overseas as well.
With the Agriculture Ministry having announced the enforcement of the new act on developing the tea industry last month, Bosang's green tea is expected to make another leap forward. Kim Mo-kyun, Arirang News.
Now, before we go, we're going to take a brief look at the weather here in Korea, and we are seeing on and off rain across the central region tonight. Overnight, we're going to see the low dip to 4 degrees Celsius in Seoul. Sunday will be dry, quite sunny, and the mercury will top out at 14 degrees in the Korean capital. However, Korea will unfortunately experience a high level of yellow dust on Sunday, so you'll probably want to wear a mask if you're planning on spending an extended period outside tomorrow. With that, let's take a look at the weather around the world. Well, those are the stories we have for you this hour. For more of the latest, don't forget to check out the website, arirang.com/news. We also have a smartphone application you can download by just searching for Arirang TV in the usual places. Do enjoy the rest of your weekend. Goodbye.